When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like Skims or Allbirds, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and great marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling and for shoppers buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. It's home of Shop Pay, the #1 checkout in the world. You can use it to boost conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going through to checkout. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Allbirds uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/income, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/income to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/income.
This is The Planted Runner. I'm Coach Claire Bartholic. The hardest thing I do as a marathon coach isn't teaching runners how to run faster. It's actually convincing them to run slower. That's because the concept of running slowly on purpose fights against everything we want as runners. For most of us, the goal is to run faster. Or maybe your goal isn't to run faster overall or in a race, but we at least want running to feel easier at a slightly faster pace. So it's natural to think, I need to run faster to run faster. But that drive to run faster may actually be what's stopping you from getting what you want. And not to mention, when you actually try to slow down your runs, it feels awkward and unnatural. Why is that? And how do you physically run slower when it feels so weird? Let's find out. Welcome to The Planted Runner. I'm Coach Claire Bartholic, and my mission is to help you improve your running, your mindset, and your life with science-backed training and plant-based nutrition. Today, I'd like to talk about the power of running slowly to run faster. You'll learn the scientific reasons slow running works so well, the amount of slow running you need to improve, and how you make slow running feel less awkward. This concept is undoubtedly the most critical thing you can do to become a better endurance runner. So if you're a new runner, or if you've been running for years with disappointing results, this is absolutely what you need to hear right now. And after you listen to this, if you're determined to make these theories work for you in practice, then you are the perfect candidate for the PR team. Not only will you get a custom running schedule created by me, but it will include all your strength, mobility, and more. No more decision fatigue on what you should do today. It's all laid out for you perfectly in the app, which syncs to your running watch. You'll be joining a team of runners just like you, all ages and paces, who are doing the same thing and cheering each other on. It really is the best way to stay accountable and true to your goals, while also getting in a built-in group of new running buddies. I'll talk more about the team later on in the show, but if you are ready to learn more right now, head to theplantedrunner.com/group. Don't forget to stay tuned all the way to the end of the episode for this week's Mental Strength Minute. Fortify your mind in 60 seconds or less. One of the greatest paradoxes in endurance running is that running slower most of the time will make you a faster runner. It's not the only thing, of course, but it's the biggest piece of the endurance pie. What most uncoached or new runners do is just go out for a run at whatever pace feels like running. And most of the time, the pace they choose to run is too fast to be helpful long term. I get where they're coming from. We runners love to see progress, and it makes sense that if our normal everyday run gets faster, then we must be getting faster, right? Well, yes and no. Yes, any amount of running at any pace will eventually make you a better runner. High-intensity speed work is also important to reach your potential, but too much speed and your risk of injury and overtraining goes up dramatically. With running, the devil is in the details and in the dose. Let's get into the science of why easy running is so important if you want to get better at endurance running. One of the primary reasons to run slowly on your easy days and for most of your long runs is that slower running builds the aerobic system. In order to exercise, your body needs to break down carbohydrate and convert it into glycogen so it can be used as energy or fuel. With enough oxygen, the body will use the aerobic system, also known as aerobic glycolysis, to create energy, or ATP, to power endurance running. When you breathe in, if you are going slow enough, the body efficiently uses all the oxygen it needs to power the muscles, and then you exhale. As you continue to run aerobically over time, your body gets better and better at using oxygen to make energy, which allows you to run faster when you want to. And the reason having a great aerobic system is critical is because 85 to 99% of the energy needed to race any distance longer than 800 meters comes from the aerobic system. There simply is no better way to train the aerobic system than easy running. Let's zoom in a little more. There are two major physiological developments that occur with aerobic training. The first has to do with your capillaries. Capillaries are the tiny blood vessels, and they help bring oxygen and nutrients to the muscle tissues while taking waste products out. The more capillaries you have surrounding each muscle fiber, the faster you can transport oxygen and carbohydrate into your muscles. Aerobic training, by running easy, increases the number of capillaries per muscle fiber. This means your muscles get more oxygen and nutrients while waste products are removed faster. With more oxygen and less waste, you can run faster. The second is mitochondria development. Mitochondria are microscopic organelle found in your muscles' cells that contribute to the production of ATP. The job of mitochondria is to break down carbohydrate, fat, and protein into usable energy if there's enough oxygen around. The more mitochondria you have, the greater their density, the more energy you can generate during exercise, and that will enable you to run faster and longer. Aerobic training increases both the number and the size of the mitochondria in your muscle fibers. Okay, at this point, we know that building the aerobic system allows us to run faster, but why can't we just make all this happen faster by running faster every day? Well, because it doesn't work that way. Not only will running faster result in diminished aerobic development, but it increases the chance of injury and overtraining. Let's look at why. Scientific research has shown that peak capillary development happens between 60 and 75% of 5K pace. Faster running may actually inhibit the process. And maximum mitochondrial development occurs when running at 55 to 75% of 5K pace. In other words, the optimal easy run pace for aerobic development is between 55 and 75% of your 5K pace. Now, what does that mean in real numbers? Well, for a 20-minute 5K runner, that's somewhere around 9:45 per mile or 6:04 per kilometer pace. I'm going to repeat that to let that sink in. Unless you can race a 5K in 20 minutes or less, your aerobic development or your easy pace should be slower than 9:45 per mile or 6:04 per kilometer. For a 30-minute 5K runner, that's more like 12 or 13 minutes per mile or 7:30 to 8 minutes per kilometer pace. But of course, almost everyone runs faster than that until they train themselves not to. We want to get fast, and the reality is it takes time. Building peak aerobic fitness takes years and years. So the more slow aerobic work you do every week, the earlier the results you are looking for will come. Just how much slow running do you need to do? A good rule of thumb is about 80% of your running should be aerobic for most endurance runners. That number will be different depending on your goals and your experience, but that's a good place to start. I'll get into how exactly you run slower a little later, but there's a few more important reasons why. Besides building a big aerobic engine, easy days can help you recover from your hard workouts and run those speed days faster. But it won't work if you run your easy days too fast. After a speedy workout, your muscles will have micro tears from the forceful contractions which happen at fast speeds. These micro tears cause muscle soreness and make training the day after a hard workout extra hard. The body heals these micro tears through the circulatory system, delivering oxygen and nutrients to the muscles that need repair. When you run easy, oxygen and nutrients are delivered directly to muscles used during running. This is why an easy run might be more beneficial than a complete rest day. If you run easy enough, the stress and the micro tears that result from running are virtually non-existent. In other words, you don't need a recovery day from your recovery run. At this point, most runners are intellectually convinced they should slow down their easy runs, but there's still that voice that says, "But coach, there's no way I can run that slow." Yes, you can, and I'll explain how right after this. I want to tell you about a unique opportunity for you to get stronger, faster, and stay motivated to hit your running and nutrition goals this year, and that is to join the PR team. Each member of the team gets a custom training plan made by me for you based on your unique fitness goals and lifestyle. Everything you need to achieve your running dreams is included, such as strength training, recovery, and even cross-training if you want it. I include weekly mental strength training as well as training tips and nutrition guides. But here's where it gets really cool. The group has its own page in the app where we share workouts, ask training questions, and get feedback from me and the other teammates. And each week, I create an exclusive private podcast just for the team based on the questions I get and what I see in their training each week. And I usually end up sharing behind the scenes and exclusive sneak peeks with the team that I don't share anywhere else. So instead of joining a Facebook group or sitting through another Zoom call, you get to listen to tailored advice on the run, and you don't have to do this all alone. When you're ready to take your running to the next level and join an amazing team of runners, head to theplantedrunner.com/group and join us today. It's more affordable than you think, and I can't wait to have you. The Planted Runner is sponsored by Liquid IV. Story time. When I first started running, I just went out and ran until I had to stop. Then I walked home. No fueling, no hydration, no plan at all. It actually kind of worked, but I was out there a long time until I finally figured out there's a better way to train. And it turns out there's a better way to hydrate than just water. Rehydrate with Liquid IV's Energy Multiplier, sugar-free hydrating energy. It's scientifically formulated to support physical energy, hydration, focus, mood, and social stamina, so it's perfect when you need a little boost on the run. Just one stick and 16 ounces of water hydrates better than water alone. Powered by Live Hydroscience, an optimized ratio of electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients that turn ordinary water into extraordinary hydration. Rehydrate better with better hydration and energy from Liquid IV, zero sugar and zero crash. Tear, pour, live more. Go to liquidiv.com and get 20% off your first order with code PLANTED at checkout. That's 20% off your first order with code PLANTED at liquidiv.com. Welcome back to The Planted Runner. I'm Coach Claire Bartholic. Most runners inadvertently and paradoxically run too fast in their goal to get faster. They get in the habit of running in a comfy middle zone most of the time. It's not so fast that it's super hard or really challenging, but it's not so slow that people would call what we're doing jogging. Runners hate to be caught jogging. These runners aren't running slow enough for maximum aerobic benefit on their easy days, which is also why they can't run fast enough on their speed days to truly develop their speed. Another way to picture it is that slow running is the cake and fast running is the icing. You can eat a lot of unfrosted cake, but it's pretty hard to eat a giant bowl of just frosting. But get the ratio right and you have the perfect dessert. So how exactly do you run slow? And how slow is slow? The pace of your slow run will vary depending on your fitness, but a good rule of thumb is that you should be going at least 1 minute per mile slower than your marathon pace, and 2 minutes is probably even better. For you really fast folks, you could be going 3 minutes per mile slower than your marathon pace. The thing is, you really can't go too slow on your slow days. As long as you're not shuffling your feet and you're still only touching one foot to the ground at a time, you are getting results. Now, many of my coaching clients will say to me, I can't run that slow. My form completely breaks down when I run slowly, and it feels awkward and uncomfortable. I get it, but you can. Now, notice that I've been using the word slow and not always the word easy. Slow and easy are not the same thing. I want you to let go of thoughts of easy, hard, comfortable, anything like that. Some days slow runs will feel easy, and other days, like when you're sore after a tough workout the day before, they won't feel easy at all, but they should always feel slow. Now, if we want it to be completely accurate, we get rid of those labels altogether and just call the pace aerobic development. But I don't think that's going to fall into favor anytime soon, so easy it is. Of course, anytime you're doing something you're not used to, it will feel awkward, and running slowly is no exception. If you're used to running at a moderate pace, your body will complain when you try to change that, but I promise you it will get easier. So here's how you do it, and once again, it's simple, but it might not be easy at first. Your form shouldn't change much at all. You just shorten your stride. You should still keep a nice, quick cadence and good posture with your head up and your shoulders down away from your ears. You want to be light and smooth on your feet and never be double supported, meaning no shuffling, 1 foot on the ground at a time. You want to be quiet, like a little ninja, so quiet that you sneak up on pedestrians ahead of you and scare the daylights out of them as you pass by. One trick to be sure you're running easy is to close your mouth. If you can run breathing only out of your nose, then you are definitely running easy. Now, I'm not saying you need to nose breathe the whole time, but it's just a little test if you're by yourself. If you're running with a friend, use the talk test. You should be able to carry on a full conversation with your running buddy just as easily as you could walking. When you run slowly, not only are you building your aerobic engine so you can race faster and longer, you are moving nutrients to your hardworking muscles so they can repair and build from your faster speed days. By the time your next hard session comes along, you're fresh and recovered, ready to run harder than you would be able to if you were still sore. And what that means is that you're maximizing the short time that you run fast each week, which will get you faster. And now it's time for this week's Mental Strength Minute. Fortify your mind in 60 seconds or less. Today's topic is the storm inside a teacup. When you are right in the middle of a struggle in your life or in your running, it's easy to start catastrophizing. The run is getting harder. Your legs are feeling heavier. Your will to keep going is dissolving. When that happens, repeat the phrase, "This is just a storm inside a teacup." Yes, it feels monumental in the moment, but in the grand scheme of things, it's small and it's temporary, and you will get through it. This mantra will help you disassociate from the pain of the moment, which will take away its power. And if you know who the original author of this phrase is, be sure to send me an email, or better yet, write the answer in a review of the show. Thank you for listening to The Planted Runner, part of the Evergreen Podcast Network. Don't forget that you can enter to win a free custom training plan for your next race and get featured on the show. Just write an Apple Podcast review and enter at theplantedrunner.com/PRLab. Of course, reviews are the #1 way to boost this show's reach, and it's a great way to tell me what you'd like to hear next because I read every single one. Have a great run today.